Alright, hello guys, welcome back to Avalon. So today is actually a very exciting day because the day I film this, which is on the 17th of February, we are experiencing a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. So eclipses are not typical new or full moon energies, but thresholds that kind of accelerate timelines, reveal what's been hidden, and initiate new chapters in our lives. It's like an upgrade to our system, and it kind of reminds us that we're between worlds right now. So this is no new moon to set any new intentions today, but it's an eclipse that closes the old and opens the new. So if you feel some radical or intense energy shifts, this is why. It's important for us to stay grounded and meditate if that's something that we like to do, or go for a walk. Find a way of grounding ourselves in this very intense and sometimes emotional energy here. With the eclipse happening in Aquarius, we'll be faced with themes like leadership, community, identity, and the future we want to build together. So Aquarius governs the mental framework. When this much energy gathers, something in our inner operating system recalibrates. So you may suddenly see a situation completely differently and realize you've outgrown a role, or you feel detached from something that once defined you. So this is quite powerful energy here. Because this eclipse squares Uranus, insights may arrive through disruption. So a surprise, a break in the pattern, a moment that clarifies what can no longer continue the way it did. The fixed signs will be most influenced by this eclipse. So take a look at your placements of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius in your birth chart. Wherever those signs show up for you, expect a shift in direction and a new way forward here for yourself. Also, at the same time now, Pluto is in early Aquarius, which is working more slowly and deeply, especially if you have early fixed placements. So this is less about sudden change and more about profound psychological restructuring. Power dynamics might surface and old identity layers might dissolve for you here. So this is all quite powerful stuff, and because of that, I thought we were going to do a little reading on this energy today and see what comes up for the collective, because I think this is going to be a shift towards more accountability and more authenticity for all of us. So let's see what the cards have to say. Let's see what the cards have to say about this energy here. A lot just flipped here. Let's see. We have the golden children. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. And we also have perspective. Ooh, none of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. So, I just talked about having a perspective shift, right? I just talked about this energy possibly bringing about a new opinion about a matter or about a life situation, a quote-unquote problem that you've been facing for a while, that is just going to dissolve because you're going to have a complete new perspective on whatever that is. And the cards seem to really clarify this here. So this is going to be different for all of us, right? Keep in mind this is a general reading, but there seems to be a certain situation in your life that needs you to zoom out and to see it from a different kind of angle, to look at it from a different point of view. If it involves other people, to try to kind of put yourself in their shoes and see why they act the way they do, what the reasons could be for that, and maybe have a little bit more empathy, or quite the opposite, set up a straight boundary, say no, and remove these people from your life, or distance yourself from them as much as you can. So there is some sort of a breakthrough moment here in the energies today and the next few days, where there's a huge perspective shift on something that has been present in your life for a long time. And with the golden children card, I do get this energy that this could be connected to your childhood. So maybe you carried a certain narrative. All of us play a certain role in family dynamics, especially if we have siblings, or even if we are only children, it's always the energy of this is the, I don't know, creative child, this is the troubling child, this is the rebellious child, or whatever it is for you and your family or your siblings. But we usually have to play a role. There's usually a certain stereotype even attached to us in certain family dynamics or even friendship circles that don't really mirror our true selves, and that don't really show us and describe us for who we really are and for what we really feel. So this could be kind of dissolving an old narrative that you have carried since your childhood, an old belief system, an old mindset that kind of kept you down, held you back, that limited you from up-leveling, upgrading, right? And this might come to the surface here during this eclipse energy, where you suddenly realize as you're zooming out of the energy, wait, but I don't actually identify with this energy, and I don't think I'm actually that person that my family or my friends make me out to be. And this could feel very vulnerable and sensitive and rare for you. It could potentially make you emotional, but what Spirit is telling you here is it's needed for you to break out of that idea of yourself, because it's been taught. It's not actually who you are. You were kind of conditioned or even indoctrinated in a way to believe yourself to be a certain way or to be a certain person, when maybe in reality that's not who you are, that's not who you were, but that's also not who you want to become. So now you're getting this chance to completely rebuild yourself here and create yourself anew, right? It's not necessarily about finding the essence of yourself, but it's about creating that person, right? View yourself as an artist. You can sculpt yourself into whatever it is that you want to be. You can use whatever tools you feel are going to help you on this journey, right? But this seems to be like some sort of self-discovery here, some sort of sudden realization that things are not as they seemed, and the way that you've been viewed, or the narrative that you carried for a very long time about who it is that you are, what it is that you need to do, or where you need to be, is not actually truthful to what you actually want and where you actually want to go. So this is a very breakthrough moment here. Let's clarify this energy with a cosmic energy card. Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense right here. That's the card of insight. Insight is the fruit of wisdom. Keep a learning attitude. So this seems to be a situation where you're learning something new about yourself, where you're learning to unlearn a certain narrative about yourself or a certain role that you no longer want to play, and you just get rid of it. You just realize, wait, this is actually not who I am. This is not where I want to go. So I'm now going to gather this energy and actually make a different choice for myself. And maybe this was building up for a very long time here in your life, possibly for many years here if it goes back to your childhood, but maybe it goes back to high school or university, depending how old you are. This has been a pattern or a belief system about who it is that you are that has been present in your life for many, many years. And this eclipse energy here in Aquarius is now giving you the opportunity to completely get rid of that, to completely purge it, cleanse yourself from that energy, and redefine yourself, make yourself new in whatever shape or form or size and color that you want to show up in the world and want to be. So that's very positive here. I also feel like you could be a student here, you could be very book smart, or you could be a person that does a lot of self-study or trying to understand yourself on a deeper level here. So you might be a person that in general is a bit more introspective, that goes for the substance and the depth in connections with people, and that tries to know themselves here very deeply. So you could be a very knowledgeable person, but you are also a person who knows deep down and always have known who it is that you are and what it is that you want to do with your life. And it seems like this eclipse energy is now giving you this energy, this courage, this bravery to go after that idea that you had carried for a very, very long time, but maybe were too afraid to show. Maybe you shied away from having a few difficult conversations with family members because they had certain expectations about you and your future, and it was just too complicated, too troubling. You didn't want to go there. You tried to avoid conflict. But now this Aquarian energy is giving you a sense of courage and a sense of, bravery to do it anyway, and to say, you know, I've waited a long time. I know myself well enough. I know what it is that I want to do and who I want to be. And I'm now just going to embrace that and step into this energy fully without being afraid and without allowing other people, even if it's my own family, to hold me back from that any longer. So let's clarify that energy with some tarot cards here. I'm getting a very independent, confident energy here, as if you're finally becoming bold enough to speak your truth and show your authentic self. And the Aquarian energy is all about authenticity, right? Stepping more into that, taking accountability for what was in the past, but also then recreating ourselves, following our visions, our dreams, and stepping into our authentic self more confidently and more courageously than ever before. So this seems to be an energy that you are in right now. We have the Two of Swords. We have the King of Swords. And wow, we just got the Empress and the Emperor together here. We have the Page of Swords. A lot of swords energy, a lot of air energy, which makes sense for an Aquarian eclipse, right? You could be an air sign. And the last card I have here is the Fool. Wow. Back at the deck energy is the Ten of Pentacles here. This is powerful. This is very, very powerful here today. It's a very strong energy. I'm getting that in the past, you were sort of at a crossroads energy. You knew you didn't want to continue the way you always had. You started to question things. You started to notice where maybe, again, a role that you played, a facade that you had put up for many years, no longer brought you any comfort. Where you realized you have maybe outgrown a certain environment here, a certain social circle, but you weren't yet able to fully embrace that energy. Maybe it scared you, like, oh my gosh, I feel like my life is a lie, or maybe not as dramatic as that, but maybe just this energy of, I have to change something and it's going to be uncomfortable and a lot of people will not understand it, so I better do nothing. But with this eclipse energy, you finally gain this confidence and this willpower to make that shift. With the King of Swords and the Page of Swords, you have gained a lot of clarity and a lot of inner knowing that you know it's the right path forward. And there's, with this page, this attitude of just starting out and seeing where it goes. And you can start out in very small steps. You don't have to do big changes all at once, right? You don't have to leave, I don't know, an entire friend group behind from one day to the other. Maybe there are certain people in the friend group that you want to stay connected to. So it's more nuanced than that. It's not a sudden shift from 0 to 100, but it's small but steady wins the race, right? So that's the kind of energy I see you in, kind of really and continuously questioning your life that you have built, if you have built it by yourself or if you just followed a certain roadmap that your family or your environment has presented to yourself when you were younger and you were impressionable and you believed you had to do what other people told you to do. But with this eclipse, you're finding your voice. You're saying no to certain things. You're saying yes to others. You're finding your own perspectives on certain topics. You find new personal understandings for your life and for yourself and for who you want to become and for what you have outgrown. And you now feel ready to leave the life the way you've lived it behind because you have just changed too much. You can no longer hold back from this energetic shift that you're feeling. You have all the clarity here. You have all the insights. You know exactly where you need to go. You are connecting to your inner child here, this golden child within that is telling you, but I'm not the way that those people make me out to be. And I don't live my life in a way that actually shows the truth of my being. I'm not actually visible to the world. I'm not actually being who I truly am. I'm playing a role that I have completely outgrown, and I'm now going to venture out and find my own authentic self and learn to embrace that and fully live off of that in a way, and to speak the truth, ask for the truth and nothing but the truth, and to stand in my power here, to take my power back. If other people have controlled my life, if a job has controlled my life, if a family controlled my life in any small or big way, I'm going to take that power back and I'm going to start to say no. I'm going to start to shift out of that energy. And there's really this energy of being able to balance your own inner divine feminine and divine masculine energy here. This energy that you find yourself in might have also been triggered by your own twin flame journey that you're on. And mind you, this doesn't mean that you have to have met your twin flame in your real life, but this could just be an energy of your own divine feminine and masculine energies being out of balance here for many, many years of your life. And you're now just learning to gather those energies and to balance them out, to find a way to work with them in an equal way, where you're taking leadership of your life and at the same time embracing more of your emotional, intuitive side, having care and compassion for yourself and for the old version that you've been, that you are outgrowing right now, and stepping more into your emotional truth, as well as taking solid, stable action in the physical in order to build this new beginning here with the Fool that you're seeking for your life. And I'm seeing this as like a long-lasting change that you're doing here right now with the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles that is going to ultimately lead you to a more balanced and sustained lifestyle that is also going to financially stabilize you here in the long term. If this is an actual twin flame in your life, so if you know for a fact that you are on a twin flame journey or on a very strong and intense soulmate journey, this could mean that this person might return to your life, or that you reconcile and mend the connection that you share with them here as this new energy is being integrated in your system here. So they could reemerge, you could have a new beginning with this person, but I mostly see this as an energy of stabilizing your own feminine and masculine energies and really finding that emotional as well as mental balance within yourself, this energetic peace almost that is going to help you to catapult yourself forward here. You have all the wisdom and all the knowledge that you need to build this new reality for yourself, to become the person that you really want to be. And I see you further studying this, continuously reading books about it, also connecting to your inner child here with this Golden Children Oracle card, which could be an energy of returning to your creativity, returning to a sense of being carefree and childlike, not childish, but childlike in the way that you face life and face difficulties, to become a little more lighthearted, to have a more positive outlook on life, to no longer hold yourself back, but to fully step into your happiness, your joy, your creativity, and finally having a plan in place, but also this energetic momentum here that's building through the eclipse that is both working for you in order to get you on this new journey here that you want to build for yourself and that you have potentially dreamed about for a very, very long time. So this eclipse energy is telling you to fully embrace your authentic self. You know who you are, you know where you want to go, you know what you want to create. You are recreating yourself to be more truthful. You are building a more authentic life for yourself, and this energy is allowing you to go after that fearlessly and fiercely here, with a lot of positive energy helping you to make that shift happen in the physical here, as much as it has already occurred in the spiritual maybe, or on the internal. It's now going to become more visible on the external. So you might have gained a lot of insights and knowledge about yourself for the past years. You have realized what can stay and what needs to go, what needs to shift and what can stay the way that it is. And you're now putting these preparational years here, where you got to know yourself a lot more and what it is that you wanted and who you think you are, into action here, into solid, stable steps forward. So there's progress here that has been going on in the background. So maybe a lot of people in your life weren't aware that you were going through so many inner changes, but now with this eclipse energy and this Aquarian energy, you're now no longer afraid to show that change on the outside as well. You know, it's always I always say the inner reality creates the outer form. So once you have shifted into the truth of who it is that you are, eventually it's going to shine through on the outside anyways. But you are taking practical, active steps to do that, to rebuild your life the way that you dream it to be. And that's a very beautiful energy that you're in here. All right, that's all that I have for you here today for this eclipse energy check-in. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.